Man and woman, husband and wife, they're pulling up in the gas station, right? They pull up into this gas station, they get to the pump. There's a motorist who's pulling up behind them, right? At the pump that is behind the pump that the husband and wife are going to use for their vehicle. The husband gets out of the car at the first pump and he's walking towards the entrance of the gas station to make payment, right? There's a woman who's the second motorist in the vehicle behind the husband and wife's vehicle. And she looked like she's probably in her 70s. This husband is probably somewhere, let's say 40. So let's round it off. The husband is 40 years old in the first car, right? And the woman who's in the car behind him, who he doesn't know this woman, she's a complete stranger. Let's say she's about 70 years old. Now, the husband walking to the front entrance of the gas station to go in and pay for his fuel. The 70-year-old woman, she's walking in the same direction, which is the entrance of the gas station to pay for her fuel, and they both catch each other's eye. 70-year-old woman says to the young man, she says, "Good morning." The younger husband, he says, not knowing the woman, he says, "Good morning," to her back. And that's it. That's the only dialogue that they had. They go inside the gas station entrance, which is a convenience store, by the way. They both pay for their fuel. Husband goes to his vehicle. His wife is in the passenger seat, okay? He goes to pump his gas. He gets in the vehicle when it's over, and he pulls off. 70-year-old woman, she's still in the convenience store part of the gas station. We don't know what happened to her. Husband gets in his vehicle, tank on full. Wife turns around to the husband while they're driving and traveling, and she says, "Husband, what did that woman say to you?" And the husband says, "She just said, 'Good morning.'" And the wife, she got offended. The wife says, "Oh, you said good morning because you really was trying to send her a message that you wanted to take her out on a date later on, and that was your way of saying that you wanted her phone number to contact her later." And the husband, he turns to the wife and he says, "That's not true. Where's all of this coming from?" And then the wife began to yell at the husband, and they get into a dispute. And that's the end of the story. Dispute, verbal dispute. This is a hypothetical story for all of the newcomers that just came in. Now, this is not a true story. I haven't seen this story anywhere else, but I'm making a reference for a reason. Now that you've heard the story, I have a question for everyone in the chat right now. This is live and living color. Is this a yes or a no? I just had a question. You can type the letter Y in the chat for yes. Type the letter N in the chat to indicate no. Was the wife in this scenario wrong based on how she reacted to her husband? Yes or no? Can somebody hear me in the chat? Yes or no? The preacher is here now. I gave you the prosecutor last week when we had Victor Conti here. But today, I'm the preacher. So I had a question. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 yeses. Can I get some more responses, please? I got 5. Listen, if the wife wasn't wrong, she wasn't wrong. I'm just asking your opinion. If she was wrong, just say yes. If she wasn't, just say no. This is very simple. We ain't going to hold this too long. Just yes or no. Just yes or no. That's all. That's it. Let me see how many yeses or nos we got. Oh, wow. We got a lot of yeses. Okay. All right. Salute. Asante L in the building. Andre Noble, I see you. Okay, so that wife was wrong. She was wrong for that. Let me tell you why she was wrong. Because she assumed, huh? She assumed that this husband was trying to send a cryptic message, that this husband was trying to insinuate. This husband was just trying to infer, all because he said the words good morning. All he did was react to the words that the older lady said to him first. And all he said was good morning. The wife was wrong in that scenario because she did not hold the husband accountable for the words that he said. She held him accountable for words that he did not say. And it was based on her own assumptions, irregardless of what her issue was. She was wrong. Now, let me tell you where the husband was right at. The husband was right because he didn't try to convince his wife. He did not try to give her certain reassurances based on her own assumptions when she was wrong. She created an unhealthy environment based on her reaction. And that's why he just left it at good morning. Now, somebody might ask, Manager Marty Luther King, what does that have to do with the Roll the Tape podcast? What does this have to do with the audience? What does this have to do with the Roll the Tape film crew members? What does this have to do with any of this? Because if you said yes, that the wife was wrong, then you agree with me about the other people that are wrong. Let me give you an example. We have people who have been assuming since I've been on YouTube from last year to now. But more recently, they've been assuming the words of Manager Marty Luther King. In other words, they've been holding me accountable for words that I did not publicly say. You've never heard me publicly say that Terrence Crawford was on illegal PEDs, but I'm being held accountable for it. You did hear me say that the snack program works and that the performance that he displayed in the last 3 fights was enhanced. You did not hear me say that Devin Haney or Caleb Plant or Demetrius Andrade or any other fighter on the snack program, you didn't hear me publicly say they're on PEDs and they're doing something illegal, did you? But I'm being held accountable, Band Up, for words that I did not say. But you did hear me say the snack program works. And in their performances, you've seen it be enhanced. You have never heard me say that Terrence Bud Crawford is a bad, nasty, evil fighter that can't fight. But you did hear me say he was a great fighter. You did hear me say that he was already winning and undefeated as a world champion before he got with the snack program. You did hear me say that. You didn't hear me say that I don't like Terrence Bud Crawford. But I'm being held accountable for words that I did not say. But you did hear me say, I like Terrence Crawford, and I sympathize with him based on his upbringing. You didn't hear me say that Victor Conti is cheating. You didn't publicly hear me say that, but I'm being held accountable for words I did not say. But you did hear me say I was suspicious. You did not hear me say that Terrence Crawford did something so bad that it was his fault that Errol Spence came in a fight and wasn't 100%. So people say I'm making an excuse because Errol Spence lost, but I'm being held accountable for words I did not say. But you did hear me say that just because Errol Spence was not 100% does not mean that it's Terrence Crawford's fault. So just like that wife who was holding that husband accountable for words he did not say based on her own assumption, I'm going to respond just like the husband did. It is not my responsibility to reassure anybody who's holding me accountable for words I did not say based on their assumptions. That's not my responsibility to reassure you of what I'm trying to say or convince you or prove to you what I'm really trying to imply. That's not my responsibility. Hey, let me explain something to you. I was dating this woman, and she probably watching right now. Let the preacher do this, because we all got a pass. Let the preacher do this right here. Yeah. And she used to assume so many things. She used to come up with all these different theories on why I said this and why I said that. She used to always assume. And you know what I used to tell her? I used to tell her innocent people don't want to go to jail. Not even guilty people want to go to jail. If a guilty person was committing a crime and law enforcement was on the scene, that guilty person would flee law enforcement. Guilty people don't even want to go to jail, let alone innocent people. In other words, why am I being put in prison based on your attitude and reaction for a crime I didn't commit? The crime was whatever you assumed in your head based on your theory and your own personal issues. Ooh. Innocent people don't want to go to jail. I'm innocent. Those are just your theories and your assumptions that based on your issues and struggles. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So it's not my responsibility to reassure you that whatever you thinking about me in a negative way, to prove to you that that's not me. That ain't my job. My job is to just be who I am and maintain integrity and have patience and show love, irregardless of how people react to me. I got a guy in the chat right now who has done multiple videos on me. He's in the chat looking at me now, calling me Pastor Fluff. But the bottom line is you still over here, Caps and 4G. It ain't my job to try to prove to you, Caps and 4G, that I'm really who I say I am. It's not my job to convince you whether or not I'm a real manager. It's not my job to convince you whether or not I believe Crawford is this and I don't like Crawford. That ain't my job. It's not my responsibility. Whatever your assumptions are, that's on you. I know what you're here for. You ain't here to participate in the chat. You're not here. You here to steal content from me like you always do. And because of that, I got to ban you and delete your comment. I just banned him and deleted his comment. I told you the preacher is here. See, if y'all think the prosecutor is harder than the preacher, there's something wrong with that. Oh, you're acting soft as the prosecutor when Victor Conti's here. No, I'm acting like a prosecutor. The preacher is always harder than the prosecutor. That's all I'm saying. We don't need Caps 4G over here trying to discredit me and act like he cool and give me a $5 super chat only to turn around like he did the $5 super chat he gave me and say great interview and then turn around, steal my content, use it against me to diss me on his channel. Get out of my chat. You are not welcome here, you thief and liar. Been lying on me. 8, 9 videos down the road, you still lying. Then gonna come in here in my chat. You banned and your comments are not necessary. I ain't mad at you because you hating on me. I love it when you hate on me. But all I'm saying is at some point, if you don't like something, stop eating it. I don't like Brussels sprouts, so I don't eat it. If you don't like Manager Marty, what you coming over here stealing my content for? That's all I'm saying. If you don't like the message that I'm saying, if you don't like the food that I present and the bread that I give to the people, then stop coming over here chewing off of the plate. Beat it. This channel is for the real ones. The preacher is here today.